You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Right now, there are actual terrestrial insurance actuaries out there trying to figure out how to price the risk of a micrometeorite hitting a floating server farm in outer space.
Oh, wild.
Just, think about that for a second. We have pushed Earth's power grid to such an absolute breaking point to support AI that the only logical next step is to literally put the brains of the global economy into orbit. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, it really does sound like science fiction, but looking through this massive stack of financial and market newsletters from June 2026, the physical weight of artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming the defining economic constraint of our time.
Right.
We are watching this hidden massive paradigm shift. AI is no longer just, a clever chatbot that drafts your emails for you.
Yeah, it's way past that now.
Exactly. It's becoming an independent economic actor. It has its own wallet, and the entire global financial infrastructure is just being furiously ripped up and rewired to handle it.
And that is our mission for you today. Because whether you're an investor, a tech enthusiast, or honestly just someone curious about where your money is headed,
Yeah.
we're going to connect all these dots.
It's all connected, yeah.
Because before AI can actually spend money, we have to look at how much money it costs just to keep AI running.
Right, the physical reality.
Exactly, the physical and economic reality. So, okay, let's unpack this. I was looking at the deep dive analysis of SpaceX's revised S1 filing.
Oh, yeah. The S1 is fascinating.
Right, and for anyone listening who doesn't know, an S1 is the massive financial disclosure document a company has to submit before they go public. And the numbers here are just staggering. SpaceX isn't just launching rockets anymore.
No, not all.
They are brokering massive AI compute deals with Anthropic, Google, Reflection AI.
Yeah, the S1 really pulls back the curtain on something crucial, which is that compute is basically the new oil.
Right.
The analysis digs into these implied GPU lease rates, meaning just the astronomical cost to rent the graphic processing units that act as the brains for these AI models.
Just to rent them.
Just to rent them. It breaks down the sheer power capacity required and the revenue generated per gigawatt. And what's fascinating here is the IPO float dynamics for SpaceX.
Oh, the near-term squeeze.
Exactly. They're offering a very limited initial supply of shares to the public, but there is this massive index demand from institutional investors.
So everyone needs a piece of the ultimate AI utility company, but there just aren't enough shares to go around.
Right. Not until the lockup periods expire and the insiders can actually sell. But to your earlier point about outer space, the power demands on Earth are so huge that startups like Orbital, StarCloud, Lone Star Data Holdings, and Cowboy Space.
Cowboy Space, great name.
It is, yeah. They're building AI-powered data centers in orbit.
Okay, wait, hold on. I have to push back on this wild concept because how do you even insure a floating GPU?
Yeah.
You're telling me an actuary at an insurance firm in New York or London knows how to price a solar flare frying an AI brain?
Well, no, it's an incredibly nascent field of risk modeling, but they don't really have a choice. The physical constraints of our power grid are basically forcing this commercial space innovation.
Because it's too hot here.
Because it's too hot and takes too much power, exactly. The cost of cooling these models on the ground is hitting a ceiling. Space offers ambient cooling and unfiltered solar power.
Wow.
So insurers are having to invent entirely new risk models for space-operating AI hardware just so these startups can secure debt financing. Because, Wall Street won't lend you $1 billion unless the asset is insured.
That makes sense. And those same compute constraints are snapping standard pricing models back down here on the ground, too.
Absolutely.
Like AI companies are completely abandoning flat rate subscriptions. The whole era of paying $20 a month for unlimited access is just, it's dead.
It's totally unsustainable now.
Right. They're shifting to usage-based meter pricing. And the data points to heavy agentic workloads, coding agents, and this thing called token maxing. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet finally kicking people out because a competitive eating champion just walked in.
That's a perfect analogy because traditional software as a service SaaS models, they rely on the physical limits of human behavior.
Right, I can only type so fast.
Exactly. A human being can only type so many prompts a minute. But an AI coding agent or a token maxing protocol, which is basically an algorithm designed to run endless, hyper-optimized, iterative loops,
Right.
it can run thousands of tasks per second. When the user isn't human, unlimited access will literally bankrupt the service provider overnight.
Which brings us to the core reason these heavy agentic workloads are running up server costs in the first place. AI is out there actively navigating the web and spending money on our behalf.
Yes. Enter agentic commerce.
Right. MasterCard and Private Bank just completed Ukraine's first payment executed entirely by an AI agent.
Which is a huge milestone, because the AI is no longer generating text. It's shopping. It's managing software subscriptions. It's negotiating with other machines.
It's spending real money.
Spending real money. But to facilitate that safely, MasterCard had to build a very specific agentic framework. They're bringing AI agents into the payment flow as visible, authenticated participants.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me.
Yeah.
And a bit scary. Wait, if a machine is holding my credit card, right, and making purchases while I sleep, who takes the fall if it hallucinates and buys 100 of the wrong items?
That is exactly the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And that liability vacuum is why legacy payment processors are frantically building this new infrastructure
To protect themselves.
to protect everyone, really. Agentic commerce requires an entirely new layer of trust. Automated subscriptions like your monthly Netflix bill, they're rigid, they're predictable.
Yeah.
But AI agents are dynamic. They make autonomous decisions based on parameters you set. So MasterCard's framework is designed to cryptographically anchor the AI agent's identity back to the human who deployed it.
Okay, so I'm still on the hook.
You are absolutely on the hook, which means the payment rails have to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you actually gave the agent the authority to act.
Wow. And we're seeing Stripe tackle this from the merchant side, too. They just launched a public preview of the Stripe directory.
Yeah, the directory's huge.
It's basically this searchable network allowing developers, and crucially AI agents, to discover businesses, Stripe apps, and machine payment endpoints.
Right, endpoints for machines, not humans.
Exactly. The agents can provision integrations and programmatically pay for services. We aren't talking about a website with a checkout button anymore. It's just a raw data stream for robots to read and negotiate in milliseconds.
And when machines move money at that kind of velocity, the potential for fraud scales just as exponentially.
Oh, I bet.
That's why modern Treasury, they handle massive money movement across the U.S., and globally they just partnered with Sardine to enhance their transaction monitoring.
Sardine does early fraud detection, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because if an AI agent gets compromised, it won't just steal your credit card number. It will systematically drain linked accounts across multiple platforms before a human fraud department even gets the alert.
So the fraud detection has to operate at machine speed.
It has to. Humans are too slow.
And this speed is causing a huge crisis of trust inside massive institutions. Human professionals are having to completely hit the brakes and redefine their roles.
Especially in finance and accounting, AI is seriously pressuring teams regarding output quality, compliance, and cybersecurity.
So what do the humans even do then?
Well, finance professionals are shifting away from data reporting because the AI does that instantly. Instead, they must become the human control layer.
Wait, I love that. So finance professionals are basically becoming the AI's probation officers.
Yeah.
Like they aren't doing the crime, but they are absolutely responsible for keeping the AI in line.
That is exactly what's happening. They're validating the AI outputs,
Yeah.
applying governance and human judgment.
Because if the AI hallucinates an extra zero on a balance sheet,
It's a disaster. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this institutional caution goes all the way up to the largest banks in the world.
right, JP Morgan.
Yes. JP Morgan just removed Anthropic's Claude from their list of approved tools for employees in Hong Kong, and Goldman Sachs made a similar move previously.
Geopolitics playing a role here.
Heavily. Big banks know systemic risk better than anyone. They're realizing that unchecked AI, especially when colliding with complex geopolitical concerns and tricky licensing terms, could trigger regulatory nightmares.
So they're just geofencing it.
Striking a boundary, exactly, because the legal frameworks haven't caught up to the technology.
Okay, so we've got AI agents demanding incredible power, spending money autonomously, and terrifying bank compliance departments. But to support this global 2047 machine economy, traditional banking networks are suddenly a massive bottleneck.
A huge bottleneck, because they close.
Right. The traditional banking system closes on weekends. An AI agent trying to execute a global supply chain order at 2 a.m. on a Sunday doesn't care that it's a bank holiday.
Machines don't sleep.
They don't.
Yeah.
So the financial system is frantically upgrading its underlying pipes to blockchain and stablecoins. And it isn't just the crypto bros doing it anymore. It's the traditional establishment.
Absolutely.
I mean, wait, Zelle. Zelle announced a stablecoin for international payments called Zelle USD. The app I use to split the dinner bill with my friends is launching a stablecoin.
It's true. And it comes right after the TCH consortium, which is a massive group of traditional banks, announced they're building with tokenized deposits.
Are everyday consumers even going to realize they are using crypto rails?
No, and that's the point. The end goal for stablecoins isn't to be some speculative crypto asset you trade. It's meant to be invisible infrastructure, the new plumbing.
Wow.
They want the instantaneous 24/7 settlement of a blockchain, but without the friction. But to run that kind of volume, regulators are stepping in to ensure it's compliant.
Right, the new KYC rules.
Exactly. Federal regulators just proposed rules requiring Genius-compliant stablecoin issuers to maintain customer identification programs, CIPs. They are explicitly treating stablecoin issuers like traditional banks.
Which means on-chain payments must have native compliance if they want to scale.
They have to. You can't funnel billions of dollars of institutional capital through networks that don't inherently support anti-money laundering rules. It proves stablecoins are graduating into the heavily regulated core of the U.S. financial system.
And it's trickling down, too. Stablecoin Circuit just launched a digital asset program to help community banks and credit unions offer stablecoins. And Repay Holdings successfully completed a proof of concept for stablecoin payments.
The whole ecosystem is upgrading.
It is. But if anyone thinks traditional finance is just sitting back and surrendering to disruptive tech startups, they are totally wrong. The legacy empire is striking back.
Oh, fiercely. They're making massive joint ventures and strategic acquisitions.
Let's talk about the Intercontinental Exchange ICE, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. They just formed a 50-50 joint venture with OKX, a massive crypto platform.
Right. And pending regulatory approval, they are building a regulated U.S. broker-dealer and an FCM, a futures commission merchant for tokenized NYSE equities and ICE futures.
Let me make sure I understand the gravity of this. Wall Street is merging their heavily regulated footprint with crypto's global base to put legacy stocks on a blockchain.
Yes, because they are adopting on-chain market infrastructure not out of some crypto ideology, but because tokenizing securities offers unprecedented institutional efficiency.
Oh, because the settlement time drops.
It drops from 2 days to milliseconds. That frees up billions in capital that normally just sits locked in clearinghouses waiting for trades to settle.
So what does this all mean? TradFi is simultaneously building bridges to co-opt blockchain tech, but they're also building huge moats to protect their existing fees.
Definitely. Look at Visa and MasterCard.
Right. They just scored major wins against merchant efforts to curb swipe fees. They defeated state-level restrictions in Colorado and Illinois and secured a federal court settlement maintaining their grip on interchange fees.
Which they have to do because there's rising tension between their private network dominance and the surge of public payment rails globally, like UPI in India and Pix in Brazil.
Ah, public versus private rails.
Right. If AI agents are programmed to find the lowest transaction cost, they'll naturally route payments through free public rails instead of paying a Visa fee. So Visa and MasterCard are locking down their turf.
Which explains the massive wave of strategic acquisitions. Deluxe just bought Celero Commerce for $625 million in cash to shift from legacy paper checks to digital.
A huge move. They processed $70 billion in gross transactions.
And Wise acquired Expatica, which was founded back in 2000 and had 7 million visits in 2025 across France, Germany, Portugal, and Spain.
They're buying hyper-local human migration data to feed their AI models.
Wow. And Thread rolled out Visa Cloud Connect in APAC. It's a total arms race at the infrastructure layer.
It really is.
But the consumer and retail level, it's the Wild West. It is completely chaotic. Explosive growth, questionable ethics, massive bets on global scale. Take Kalshi.
The prediction market.
Yeah, they're in early IPO talks with investment banks. $2 billion in annualized revenue, a $22 billion valuation, and $16.8 billion in trading volume just in May.
It's massive, but Kalshi is facing heavy scrutiny from state regulators and gaming groups. They're debating whether these prediction contracts are actual financial derivatives or just illegal gambling.
And the competitors aren't playing nice. Polymarket was caught paying online creators to post deceptive videos showing fake trades and massive winnings on copycat sites.
Just pure deception to manufacture the illusion of scale.
Exactly. But while startups fake their scale, established players are showing that true scale no longer requires a huge human workforce. Robinhood is cutting 300 employees, 10% of its workforce, to operate leaner.
Which normally signals financial distress.
Right. But they're doing this despite reporting record trading activity across equities, options, and prediction markets. Why trim the sails when the wind is blowing the hardest? If trading volume is at a record high, why fire 10% of your staff?
This raises an important question about the modern tech business model.
Because of the AI.
Exactly. Because of AI automation and digital efficiency, immense scale no longer requires a massive human workforce. Companies are choosing hyper-efficiency over headcount. The algorithms handle the volume, and humans become redundant.
Wow. And while Robinhood trims down, Meta is making a huge bet on India. They just invested $900 million into the Indian fintech Cred for a 20% stake.
And appointed Cred's founder, Kunal Shah, to lead WhatsApp.
Right. They want WhatsApp to be the premier global platform for agentic commerce, completely dominating global fintech.
That's the goal: seamless digital money exchange within chat threads.
So we've covered a lot today. From actuaries pricing solar flare risks for servers in space, to AI agents making autonomous payments, Wall Street tokenizing stocks, WhatsApp trying to dominate global fintech. The whole financial world is being rebuilt from the ground up to operate at machine speed.
It's a complete rewiring of the global economy.
It is. Which leaves you with one final lingering thought to mull over. We've talked about AI agents shopping autonomously, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about tokenized NYSE equities and these booming prediction markets like Kalshi. What happens when we connect them?
That's the scary part.
Will the next major financial event or market crash be caused by human greed? Or will it be caused by two AI agents getting into an algorithmic bidding war over a tokenized asset on Kalshi in the middle of the night while all the humans are asleep?
It's entirely possible.
It's a brave new world. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay insanely curious, and we'll catch you next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.